Chapter 4, Mayor Hubble is no longer in trouble. We all ran over to the helicopter. This was exciting. Mayor Hubble is an important man. He's like the king of the world. It wasn't every day that we got to see such a famous person. A big cheer went up as Mayor Hubble stepped off the helicopter and waved to the crowd. His bodyguards came running over. They were big guys in black shirts and sunglasses who looked mean. Some other guys came out in a line and started playing trumpets to welcome Mayor Hubble. A few servants rolled out a red carpet so Mayor Hubble wouldn't have to walk on the grass. A couple of other guys set up a podium for Mayor Hubble to stand behind. Important people like Mayor Hubble always stand behind a podium when they talk. Nobody knows why. Mayor Hubble probably has a podium in his living room. It would be cool if he stood behind the podium in his living room and said something like, "I have an announcement to make. It is time for me to dig out the garbage." The principal of our school, Mr. Klutz, came running up to the podium. He has no hair at all. I mean, none. "Mayor Hubble," said Mr. Klutz, "to what do we owe the pleasure of your company?" "I thought you were in jail." "That's grown-up talk for, what are you doing here?" "I got time off for good behavior," replied Mayor Hubble. "I would never miss the annual Easter egg hunt." All the kids gathered around the podium. Even the grown-ups came out of the house to listen to the mayor speak. Suddenly, everybody got quiet. "Welcome to Hubble Manor," the mayor said into the microphone. "Today my house is your house. This is the people's house." "Hooray for Mayor Hubble!" somebody shouted, and we all had to do that hip, hip, hooray thing. Mayor Hubble took a sheet of paper out of his jacket and started to read his speech. "Friends, families, students, teachers, and parents," he said. "What a wonderful day this is. Spring is in the air. Every year at this time, blah, 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 Easter, blah, 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 renewal of life, blah, 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 flowers pushing up through the frosty ground, blah, 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 blah. What a snooze fest." He went on like that for about 1,100,000 hours. I had no idea what he was talking about. My shirt was itchy, my tie was choking me. I thought I was going to die. All I could think about was when Mayor Hubble would stop talking so we could go eat some peeps. Chapter 5, The Little Monsters. Everybody cheered when Mayor Hubble finished his speech. I wasn't sure if they were cheering because it was such a good speech or because it was over. Some guys rolled the red carpet back up and took away the podium. "And now," said Mayor Hubble, "I would like to introduce our hostess for the day, my lovely wife, Bubbles." Bubbles? Hubble? Mrs. Bubbles came running over. She looked like one of those ladies in a shampoo commercial who swirls her hair around in slow motion. Mrs. Bubbles had on a red dress and high heels. She gave the mayor a big kiss and told him how happy she was to see him again. "Ugh, disgusting." "Hey, everybody," Mrs. Bubbles announced. "Thanks for coming today. Are you ready for our annual egg roll?" "Egg roll," I shouted. "Yippee! I love Chinese food." "Not that kind of an egg roll, dumbhead," Andrea said to me, rolling her eyes. "In an egg roll, you roll eggs." "I knew that," I lied. Apparently an egg roll is when a bunch of kids roll eggs along the grass. The first one to push the egg across a finish line is the winner. If you ask me, that had to be the dumbest contest in the history of the world. What's the point of rolling an egg around somebody's lawn? "I'm not doing that," said Michael. "That's for little kids." "Me neither," said Ryan and Neil. Andrea and Emily said they didn't want to get dirt on their new dresses. "The winner of the egg roll will receive a prize," announced Mrs. Bubbles. "The first child to push his or her egg across the finish line will receive a wooden egg personally autographed by Mayor Hubble and me." Mrs. Bubbles held up the wooden egg. "Wooden egg?" Alexia whispered to me. "Where do you think she got a wooden egg?" "From a wooden chicken," I guessed. Alexia and I decided that it would be cool to win a wooden egg. We went over to the starting line. So did about 1,000,000 first graders. "Look at these little munchkins," I whispered to Alexia. "No way they're going to beat us." "This is going to be a piece of cake," said Alexia. I didn't know what cake had to do with anything. Why is everybody always talking about cake? Mrs. Bubbles gave each of us a plastic egg and a long spoon. Then we went over to the starting line. "Okay, is everybody ready?" said Mrs. Bubbles. "On your mark, get set, let's roll!" I thought that Alexia and I could just push those first grade munchkins out of our way, but it was the other way around. They were like animals, yelling and screaming and pushing and shoving and crying and swinging their spoons every which way. It was like a war zone. "Get out of my way!" some kid shouted. "Watch out! Mommy! Ow, you hit me in the face with your spoon." I thought I was going to get trampled by those little monsters. They were brutal. And they were actually winning. If Alexia and I lost the egg roll, the gang would never stop making fun of us. That's when I came up with the greatest idea in the history of the world. "Psst," I whispered to Alexia. "Let's just pick our eggs up and throw them across the finish line. Nobody will know." "You should get the Nobel Prize for that idea," Alexia whispered back. I bent down to pick up my egg, but before I could get it, one of those first grader Munchkin girls stomped on it. Crack! My egg was all over the grass in a bunch of pieces. "Hey, kid," I shouted, "you busted my egg." But that Munchkin didn't care. She was long gone. Some other little boy monster stepped on Alexia's egg and smashed it. He ended up winning the wooden egg. After the egg roll was over, Michael and Ryan made fun of us for letting a bunch of first graders beat us. I thought Mrs. Bubbles might give us some peeps for participating in the egg roll, but she didn't. "Maybe there's a peep shortage," Alexia told me. "Yeah, maybe they have to conserve the peeps," Ryan said. "So there will still be peeps left in 100 years for our children and future generations to eat." "The peeps would be stale by then," said Neil. "Stale peeps are better than no peeps," said Michael. "Can't they just make more peeps?" I asked. "Okay, kids," said Mrs. Bubbles, "let's all go inside the house." All right, finally, it was peeps time. And we'll pick it up there tomorrow.